Hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by Mage and Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobolds or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with dark mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by R. Talsorian Games. R. Talsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been... Okay, we get it! Check them out at your FLGS or online at rtalsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut. Muted. Good evening. Humanity. It is what separates kindred from the beast, the thin layer of protection between cunning predator and ravenous monster. To some, humanity is just a pretext, a game to be played in polite society, just so you are not ostracized. To others, it is all they have left in this damned existence. The thing they cling to like a raft, what allows them to survive, or, for the more deluded amongst them, to perhaps turn them back. But humanity, like fucks, eventually runs out. I'm Simon at Wandering DM, and I will be your storyteller for tonight. And now, let's go on with our story, shall we? Hello, I am utterly unable to do a countdown. Welcome, everyone, to tonight's third episode of season 3 of Montreal by Night. We have apparently lost a pope. We have regained a pope. I think you were muted.
Well, not muted anymore.
Well, then, let's start with your...
Summer Lightning. Summer Lightning had some words.
Well, let's start with your introduction, so I can put you back at the proper square.
Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. Hey, everybody. Pope here. Pope World Ball on Twitter. Pope World Ball on Twitch. Working on your streams. And Summer Lightning, I'm hoping, is not the name of one of the two Toreador Archons. Otherwise, we may have even more trouble. But we shall see as consequences come to Montreal. I just know that Artie needs the Snickers because he's not himself when he's hungry. And things may go very sideways tonight. It's tense, and I look forward to seeing if the other shoe drops.
Before we move on to our next player tonight, I just want to answer Krellin. You don't know it yet, but it might actually work with the next campaign. Anyway. Hello, Deirdre. How are you tonight?
I'm fine. How's everybody at home? I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Prax Growth has me for you. You see me around here on Twitch or at Deirdre Donlin on Twitter. And I get to play the wonderful Florica Flory Winters, and she is literally done with all of these incompetents fucking up her simple B&E. It's a very simple B&E. But then, we'll find out what happens next. Also, still, hashtag not the Ravnos' fault.
And last but not least tonight, Trooper.
Summer Lightning had me a blast. That was for Pope. Hey, I'm Trooper SJP. Hello. And I am playing Dixon, who you can call Bruja if you like. And I'm happy to be here. He currently does not have all of his face. Part of it is ripped off. He's got like a lack of a jaw. Like it's kind of awkward. At the moment, he's not going to be entering in any sports model competitions anytime soon. But I'm happy to be here.
Unless it's like tiger wrestling competition. You've survived.
Oh, yeah. Is that like a reality show or some such that was like on one of those channels?
Yeah, I think it was the Tiger King.
That's Nosferatu something, right?
Anyway, welcome everyone.
Maybe it's a gangrel.
So yes, as Trooper so eloquently put it, he got into a scrape last week. And we have a meeting to attend tonight. So two things. One of our kindred is barely clutching to unlife, down in the sewers. While two others are going to a place that is probably, maybe, just as dangerous as the sewers. And we'll start with them tonight. Florian Arthur, post B&E, are heading to the... I think you gave them rendezvous...
North side. Beach.
On a north side beach on the island. It's roughly, I'd say about a half hour to get there for sure. So if there was anything you wanted to do during like the meantime in transit, let me know.
Oh,
otherwise
we're taking a stop as I do my best Gray Hulk impression, changing coats and going to the green to top up from my herd.
Yes.
So you're going to basically go by
Yeah,
the green?
since we're already nearby downtown.
Mm-hmm. Flory, was there anything you wanted to do? At this,
No,
this turn?
Flory did call Dixon and then sent a voice message, which doesn't actually require you to open the phone. And because of the way because it's a Samsung and not an iPhone, doesn't require body heat to activate the touch screen.
He doesn't know how to use the phone. He's never figured out how to work this phone.
Oh, I understand, but it also is still in your pocket in the sewer, so you may or may not get it because it's been rattling around in your pocket. She sent you a voice message.
Which he doesn't get, but he notices that something happened, and so he's on his way to Artie's place.
Yes.
Which is what, he's like, oh, I got a message, which means I should go to Artie's
You got
place.
more than one now, so it probably is very important.
Mm-hmm.
He's making his way over to Artie's.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the Corvette is silent. The interior of the Corvette. No music is playing. There's no conversation.
You are accompanying Arthur. I was going to use the player's name. You are accompanying Arthur to the rendezvous point, correct?
Unless he tells me to actively to get out of the car.
No. But as the car is being driven, I would like to use vicissitude again, as I don't need to tear a safe out of the wall. Because those alterations are permanent until otherwise, folks.
Yes. So please make that rouse check and turn yourself back into something a little more presentable.
In my car?
In your car.
It's not like I'm dripping.
Don't stain the leather interior. It's original.
I haven't stained anything for a decade.
And given your age, that's saying a lot. As in, why has it only been a decade since you stained something? And then the silence continues. In that moment of like, wait, I was giving you the silent treatment. I'm not actually making negative comments. You're supposed to feel my inherent judgment just in your space.
The interior of the car is thick with judgment. And no matter how much you crack the windows open, it doesn't go away. Anyway, it's a convertible. So, there's already a big giant hole through which the judgment could escape, but it doesn't.
Hey, Artie, I hope that extra hunger was not actually applied because you succeeded on the rouse check. And you succeeded a whole lot more than one. You had 5 successes.
All right, let's not look at the section successes anymore, apparently.
Yeah.
Your rouse check is fine, and you've scored 4 successes on vicissitude.
Yeah, so I'm able to put the dots back at the I'm not in combat mode distribution.
Did you get a new jacket to go with this new styling?
Oh, no. I am now far less bursting at the seams. It's more like kids' first time in Sunday school sort of look at this point. Just having to pull at the wrists to make sure that, the length of the arm is right with the cut of the suit. Maybe a little lankier than usual.
The place you are heading to is it's got a fun name. It's the name of a park. It is the Andre Courbet Park, but it's Andre Courbet, also known as Mountain Slicer. I will need to Google that person later. Suffice to say, it is a fairly reclusive park near a private, calling it an airport would be doing a disservice to all airports. It's a tiny ramp, if you will, like a private parking lot and a ramp from which you can fly hydroplanes. Or launch hydroplanes, I should say. And the park itself extends then for a good, half a mile almost, where you have, especially at night, pretty much nobody there. There's a very thin strip of beach, mostly pebbles, and then it gives onto either the grass or the water, depending on which side you go. And you would notice, approaching the park, that there is 2 other vehicles there. Both of them... Sorry?
The first thing she's going to say as the first thing she said since she got in the car, aside from don't stay in the interior, is going to be as she pulled in, is like, well, I'm glad I dressed up tonight.
Just have your anarch buddy on speed dial.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 cars, by the way, one of them is a black limo. And the other is a very nondescript sedan, like an Elantra or whatever.
One's
Charcoal.
a professional, and one is somebody who likes to live the high life. I get it.
And currently in the park, just waiting for you, basically immobile like statues, are 3 figures. One seems a little more fidgety than the 2 others. From a distance, and with your experience as vampires, you gather that it's probably because 2 of them do not need to breathe. The 3rd one does.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's a rule.
From this distance, it's very hard to identify any facial features. They do not look from afar intimidating. No one's wearing some almost medieval armor or cloak there's no theatrics, basically, is what I mean.
Out of curiosity.
Yeah.
She's going to have sense beast up pretty much anyways. And interesting, there's no distance point on sense beast.
Well, I mean, the direct the danger sense is a lot closer than the rest, but I figure the
But
sense
even
beast
then, it doesn't say anything.
No, but to me, sense beast is like anywhere you look.
Yeah.
And so looking at them, there's no check for that.
No, unless they're trying to block it, in which case they can attempt to be subterfuge against it. In which case I would have to roll for it.
I would actually have you roll for 2 of them.
Okay.
What's the stat? It's your resolve animalism versus their composure in subterfuge. All right. It's simple. I'll just do. If you want to roll twice, go ahead. I'll just roll the same pool for both, just to make things simpler.
Yeah.
So the difficulty is 5.
Mm-hmm. Three successes, so it's fine.
Yours should be, resolve animalism.
Yeah.
You've got 2 points of resolve?
No, I have 2 points of resolve and animalism plus your +1 die for
Yes.
the blood potency.
The blood potency, yeah. And this one you can't really re-roll. Do you want to do the other one?
Yeah.
You could also blood surge.
No, the
I'm just saying.
Point of, I could. This is just a passive, and
that would actually be 2 successes as well.
No, it's 2 successes out of 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 of them you do not pick up anything. The third one, harbor a supernatural beast. And you know them as a vampire. They are not hostile. They do not, or at least they do not convey any hostility through their intentions by just being there. They might be antagonistic, but you are, so far as your blood tells you, not in any danger.
Before she gets out of the car, because you can't guarantee who's listening. We have 3 friends of the undead variety. All vampires.
We'll see.
Do you not believe me?
Oh, I believe you. I believe what
Okay.
you're sensing, but I also know that the roses can paint what they want you to see.
Yeah, those 2 I can't sense anything from. That one I know is a vampire. Also not currently angry. So pretty sure that those 2 are.
Just so we know which one right away.
Yeah.
The fidgety person,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't sense any beast. And we will say, or choose a number, 1 or 2, and I'll tell you which one of the 2 you sensed.
2.
2. The woman is a vampire.
Okay, so wait. I rolled twice.
Yes,
right?
Sorry. The woman is the one you didn't roll, the one that wasn't hiding it, is what I meant.
Okay.
The other 2 are, you do not sense anything coming from them.
Okay, so
neither the fidgety
2,
person nor the other.
Okay, those 2 can't sense anything. She's a vampire.
Because I should add, they all had the same pool anyway, and I didn't think about it beforehand. I know how they operate, but
yeah. It's fine.
Where do you
say hi?
Yeah, how far do you park the car?
I've been involved with the mob. I understand. It's the distance of the high beams.
Yes.
You leave the car a high beam's distance away. That way, you're not actually blinded if you have to make a run for it. But when you actually have the conversation, everybody is in full light when they're standing around.
When you exit the car, none of them make any move. However, under the starlight, moonlight, and what remaining street lamps are still functioning, you see the three individuals a bit better. One of them is a blonde, I would say ginger blonde woman with bright blue eyes. She's wearing this black dress with shit, what's it called? Oh no, I lost the word.
Cameo? Joker?
No, it's the type of oh boy.
Halter top?
No, I'll send you the link from Legend Keeper. Deirdre, you can tell me
Sure.
what it is, because oh my god, I'm blanking out and my brain really doesn't want to help.
It's a lace neckline over a sweetheart thin strap neckline. Very nice upswift pullback in coiffure with a small piece dangling from the back. Dirty blonde, maybe rosette. She's not unattractive looking, but she met a goth aesthetic that she liked and mixed that Victorian-esque gothness, and it's not bad.
She's in the Legend Keeper. She'll introduce herself later, so you'll have her name, but otherwise players, it's already there. For those of you following at home, I'll send the link in a moment. The second person that you see is a lean man of short stature, maybe, well, actually short stature. Yeah, he's probably 5'5", dressed in a very nice business suit, in various tints of blue, with a sort of yellow gold tie over a cream shirt. It looks like those colors work only at night, only under certain conditions. You would not wear that necessarily in the open during daytime. His facial features remind you a lot, especially if Arthur and Flori, you have followed Hollywood gossip in the last few years. But they remind you of a man who was in the crosshairs of gossip rags recently. One, Robert Downey Jr.
I mean, he wasn't in the crosshairs. He was actually getting really positive reviews. When he was in the crosshairs was in the 90s, and that was an entirely different
That's
issue.
true. That's true. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that the game takes place
in 2014.
2014. So he's already Iron Man by now.
Yeah, he's Iron Man 1 and 2, and Avengers has come out.
So Tony Stark with tiny round, barely tinted sunglasses that do little to hide the black and red eyes underneath it. The eyes that do not look in any way human. Even his complexion is bluish and pale, whereas the woman appears more human-like. Him is assuredly an undead. The third person behind them is a fidgety old man with a long neck, balding head, kind of like mine actually, with older like plastic glasses, with like the clear plastic frame. He is wearing it's a white shirt with a bolo tie, little black vest, like sleeveless vest over it, black pants. Looks not so much like a butler. Maybe his place might be more at home in, say, behind a bar in an old west cereal or something. He has the complexion of a human, although the bags under his eyes and the reddish tint of his many great wrinkles. Wow, I forgot the word wrinkle. The reddish tint of his many wrinkles are perhaps indication that he is maybe right now suffering from a mild blood withdrawal. And he's holding a briefcase, closed, and linked to his wrist with a cufflink.
So I walk up in a very particular fashion. The hands are are slightly laced and above the belly button. As I walk forward.
Lori takes a second as she gets out of the car to shake her skirts because she's still wearing this very cute vintage 1950s Chanel. And as such, she is, of course, wearing a crinoline underneath it. And she's like 5 foot stature. Holds the little bag, adjusts the hat and gloves. And as she closes the door, she takes a second, like, incant, say to Artie, like, do I ask him which side he picked in Civil War or not?
No. I'll be polite. As you
Oh,
notice
look.
that the voice has come back, the eyes have gone back to blue. But there's still just a hint.
Okay, but I have to ask him what was like flying in that donut.
The woman who towers over the 2 other men by like a good 6 to 10 inches just says with a little smile, I take it you're Miss Florrie Winters. We weren't
Indeed.
going to see you quite yet, but since you are here, if you want to. Otherwise, we'll proceed with our scheduled list of appointments.
I'm just the chauffeur tonight. But if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them. If you have requests that require financial compensation, then we will discuss them later.
I am afraid we are solely here for business, not pleasure.
Okay.
My name is Kirsten Bellamy. Archon Kirsten Bellamy. Here is my associate, Mr. Unther, the Robert Downey Jr. looking man. Nods. Says, Colonel Unther. Archon. And he, when he said that, he took a step forward to introduce himself and then takes a step back reassumes the exact position he was in. And she says, and please do not worry about Edwards. He is only here for the moment. He will go back into the limo very, very soon. Mr. Porter, you asked us to come to this town before we start our investigation proper. We've been running some preliminary interviews. We need to hear from everyone and anyone in the city before we pronounce a judgment or we decide on what course of action to take.
Oh, sir.
The colonel says, you will submit yourself to this interview.
Submit's a very particular word from
Kristen,
where I come from.
yeah, Kristen just looks like side-eyes the colonel and says, maybe a less strong word would be appropriate. You're invited to take part in this interview.
Invitation's a different word, one I'm more preferable for.
You will have to excuse Colonel Unther here. He's very direct and to the point, which is an admirable quality in our line of work. But sometimes, well, you've just seen it. I would like to start this interview by stating...
There's just this sort of like knowing nod.
I would like to start this interview by stating that we are not your enemy. We are here to ensure that the entire kindred community of any sect and affiliation, barring the Sabbat, does not cross any lines. We only work for the good of all.
I'm going to make a roll, Simon,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel it is an appropriate roll
Yeah.
to make in this particular instance. Because Flory, God bless her, is trying. But so many of the Camarilla have been trying her in the last month.
Mm-hmm.
She does not snort out loud at her comment.
Good to know.
Now, she might break the poker face and be like, really? Really? Like full-on Southern judgment face, but she doesn't snort out loud and she doesn't say anything.
Would you like to conduct this interview standing or sitting? There is a, I believe, suitably comfortable picnic table over there.
If you don't mind, I like standing.
Then she takes the briefcase from Edwards, unlock the cuffs, and says, Edwards, then, dear, you can go wait in the limo. We won't make you stand up like this all night. And he just bows and nods. Oh, thank you, ma'am. And he heads into the limo. She holds the briefcase up with one hand under, unlatch it, opens it, gets a neat stack of paper, a clipboard, an inkwell and a quill, and an old cassette recorder, like a voice recorder.
Circa 1989. I got it.
She closes
Radio
the
Shack
briefcase.
still is on it.
Yeah. Closes the briefcase, puts it down, holds the recorder to the colonel. She takes the stack and the clipboard, gives him the inkwell, and he's just going to hold it up in the palm of his hand, not move at all, have the recorder running in the other hand. And if he says anything, I'll let you know, but he is otherwise like a statue. And she dips the quill. We will begin the interview. Please state your name and, if known, your bloodline.
Current name is Arthur Porter.
Yes, we would not presume to have all the aliases. Just the one you use here.
Yes. I would figure that someone who has done as many interviews as you know that names have power. Now, the other name. That is my sire, Val Philogama. Philogama clan of Venice. That can trace their lines back to Dracon.
You see the colonel's... There's one eyebrow that just juts out from behind his sunglasses. She says nothing. You just hear the scratching of the quill on paper. You remember that, like, thick layer of judgment back in Florrie's car?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hanging around her, too.
Yeah.
You, Mr. Porter, are playing with fire. Some of my colleagues would have you staked right now for just saying what you just said. But...
well, if that were the case, you wouldn't be the Talon now, would you?
I would be a very poor Archon if I didn't believe in second chances. And in that some of us, kindred, actually have everyone's own lives at heart. You would be surprised at how many people in the tower are more fit for the Sabbat.
Oh, I wouldn't be done.
How long have you been in Montreal?
About close to 2 years now.
Scratching on paper. And could you relate the events that led to you calling for us?
Well, Montreal was not to use the rabble's term, a free city. At least when I arrived. And then, at seemingly the request of one of the tower's elders, a Martin Hilkers was sent to become Prince of Montreal, much to the local chagrin. There was, of course, a salon held. Gifts were given. But in the course of the evening, aside from witnessing a likely still bonded gargoyle, there is so much disdain on that.
Mm-hmm.
An accusation.
She stops scratching the paper for a moment. Again, eyebrow raise from Mr. Colonel Unther. You just hear a faint from Kristen, but she lets you continue.
One Valois, who has been here quite some time, and has been, as much as I and my heritage have a distaste for the pyramid, has been an upstanding citizen of Montreal. When things were disrupted by the local rabble, he slipped me something that allowed me to have the sight temporarily. I imbibed it outside of Elysium's borders. And where Hilkers stood, I saw my sire. Now, either Valois did a really nasty party trick on me, or Val is riding Hilkers, or is Hilkers. I'm not sure which.
She cocks her head slightly, and Unther just leans in and whispers something in her ear. She gives a slight nod and quickly juts something down on the paper. We have yet to meet with His Highness, but these are serious allegations.
I wouldn't have used the old laws if they weren't.
Now, for my next question, and understand that this is unorthodox given the situation on the island. And then the colonel cuts her, interrupts, takes a step forward and just says, "Why haven't you joined the Camarilla yet?" And then he takes a step back and she just looks at him, like side-eyes him.
Bug, my apology.
Yes, they are rather annoying this time of night. My
Parker.
question. She'll like cut you off. My question, Mr. Porter, is: has this happened outside of Camarilla territory? You see, you are in a strange predicament here, where most of this island is a no man's land.
Oh, it's not. We both know.
It is a no man's land.
Hilkers in front of everyone. Gifted once the rabble arrived, sizable amount of territory of the island. We both know that that was a provocation. An invitation to have the past repeat itself. And either New York 2 or San Diego 2 is going to happen because of it.
Oh, we have
On
yet to
top of
meet
that-
with the rabble. This is the very first that we hear of this.
On top of that, and this is why I am almost dead sure that Val is here. Because as much as she has a long, storied distaste of myself, she hates you so much. And would delight in nothing more than the tower's suffering. And considering that the tower is so strapped that you have the sheriff and the seneschal be one and the same person, was the scourge for a while there too. The territories that were discussed and acknowledged by Hilkers, including mine, and thus had a Archon, the court of the Gangrel, which I'm surprised is still with the tower, completely flout the second tradition as he preyed upon my domain without announcement. there's a big problem in this city if the tower wishes to hold it.
Quick question out of character for a second. When you sent the invitation, Simmons had not set foot in Montreal, right? Because you sent it
Correct.
way before Simmons showed up.
As far as we know, it was sent before Simmons showed up.
Yeah, as far as you know, but that... Okay.
No, actually it wasn't. It was sent the same night. Because because Flory and Artie were talking about doing it, and then Dixon came back in and reported that he was already there.
No, because he sent it out at the end of last season.
Yeah, he sent it. Sorry, you were correct. I got it backwards.
Yeah.
You sent like you sent a follow-up message or something, an announcement. No, you sent like a complaint to the prince about the violation of the second law.
Yep. Yeah, and then Caleb met with you and all that. Okay, so she, just to make sure that I didn't have any like wires crossed anywhere. So she would say, another Archon. And Unther...
Yes, Simmons.
Yeah. Nathaniel Simmons. Gangrel. Hunter of red listers, mostly.
Serial Diablerist, I think, is the title you're searching for.
Unther cringes at the word, and Kristen just says, we do not use the D word in polite society.
This isn't polite, neither is he.
I believe we are polite.
Oh, we are. But anything that involves Amaranth, if you want the other word.
Sounds a lot better.
An Amaranthite is not someone you hold close to your vest if you are the tower. But he is a dog on a very thin leash that the tower has use for. I am telling you, he is slipping it.
She turns to Unther. Add Mr. Simmons to the list. She'll go on, ask you routine questions, basically, about the events, about what happened. Is there anything that you wish to hide from her, so far as she's not asking you to relay all of the things that happened in the game, mostly to reiterate, kind of in a few more depth, the message you had sent them originally?
Oh, I hide nothing.
Then,
I hide absolutely nothing.
Then in that case, would you make a manipulation insight check for me? Flory, you can do the same, since you haven't said anything yet, or been asked questions directly, but if you want to make that roll too, you can.
I would like to do that, and I would like to follow up the roll with a...
It's a difficulty 4.
Persuasion check at first. Our near impossible task.
I'm gonna spend a willpower and re-roll those two. Because...
Don't you want to flip them off?
No. I don't. Look, she's trying.
But with the no, that's Arthur. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you're fine.
So that's 5 successes for Flory.
So I'll start with the success, and then I'll move on to the bestial failure.
I did get a success, but I got that nat 1.
Well, it's just because you failed the check and you got the nat 1, and there's nothing you can do to change that nat 1. So, Flory, you understand that they're not really interested in the answers that are given. It's information, for sure. They, mostly the Colonel, is gauging how Arthur behaves and answers. It's not so much the content of the answer, but the manner in which it's given. As for
Was
Arthur,
the state? Wait, one quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
Because I'm assuming this is like watching them over the course of the conversation, right?
Yeah, it's the entire thing for now. Let's say we've role played part of it, but it'll last about an hour total.
So does that include the comment that Artie made about Val riding Hilkers?
Yes.
Was that also not a surprise, but just clarification information?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm trying to remember. Pope, remind me. Did you tell them that Val, in the letter that you sent, did you say that Val was the individual riding Hilkers, or did you just say that the prince was compromised?
I just said the prince was compromised.
Yeah, the prince. Yeah, they don't know about Val at all.
Okay, so when he says specifically that it was Val Ferragamo who may or may not be currently compromising the prince, does he have a reaction similar to his more visible, visceral reaction to just when Artie introduced himself as the child of Val Ferragamo?
No, they actually took it in stride. Might be a bit too much. They didn't flinch. They flinched
They didn't
more.
flinch, but it was not. But it wasn't a response like they knew.
No. With the successes you have, I can tell you that no. It feels like they're keeping their like professionalism or whatever image they're trying to give, and they're doing a good job at it. Insofar as what you can tell at the moment. As for a little bestial failure, can you remind everyone what your clan compulsion is?
Obsession.
I will give you this as a consequence for your bestial failure. You just recently underwent vicissitude twice in the same night. Plus what happened during the B&E earlier. And the beast in the back of your mind suddenly wakes up and says, "Shit, you've been talking in the wrong voice. You should really get that recorder and have it start all over. Or destroy it. Because they'll know. Oh, they'll know. You're not using the right voice." And the mechanical, because that's part of the compulsion.
Yeah,
that's part of it, right? The other downside that we'll do is right now, instead of losing a dot of advantage or something, I will give you a temporary disadvantage.
Oh.
Which is the same as Dixon. Suspect Camarilla.
Okay.
Because in that moment... Go ahead.
Yeah.
The floor is
I
yours.
would like to make a persuasion check, please.
Yes, it will have a 2 dice penalty.
Oh, good. I want to try and make a resolve negotiation with these lovely archons and answer a question that was posed to me by the colonel. As the eyes turn yellow and the voice changes. As to why I haven't joined the town? 2 reasons. 1, we all know you can't accept this face. 2, the tower refuses to acknowledge that the sword was right. The old ones are rising. The week of nightmares happen. And the call is happening right now. When the tower acknowledges truth, then it may count me as one of its members. Have a good night.
Flory, I sent you what you're.
Yeah, I just. Flory. When his voice changes, Flory takes the handbag that she was still holding, because presenting this perfect image of this vintage 19 to go with this 1950 day dress, a Chanel day dress. I should have been more clear. Not an evening little black dress, but a day dress. She sets the handbag on the hood of the Corvette. She comes around so that she's backlit by the headlights, which are still on, and the entire point of having this conversation in the headlights is so that you see everybody and all of these things, and stands in front of the car and says, "So, I'm feeling this conversation might be coming to an end.
They're both of them now do not move.
And I feel this because I wish to make sure that everyone is negotiating in good faith."
I will spend 2 willpower to re-roll those dice.
Yeah, that's...
It's just, well, you can spend 1 willpower to reroll 3 of them.
Okay.
I mean, unless you want to spend an extra will to reroll.
Reroll 4.
It's actually up to 3 anyway on a single roll. You can't.
Yeah.
Well, let me get the 3.
I will note a 6 die pool with when you already have a -2 penalty is pretty impressive. I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at something for Flory. 2 seconds.
Yeah. I feel that this conversation is becoming complicated, and we are repeating ourselves. So, since we wish to negotiate in good faith and not become a problem, perhaps you might wish to engage and check whether or not, what we were requesting your presence for, and why your presence was requested in the first place, that your little princeling was compromised, might be, the appropriate action to take before we continue this conversation in depth.
All right, I'm going to have to pause this for a second.
Yep. 2 more successes.
3
Yes.
successes with a -2 penalty.
Yeah, and they're not really a blood die, but yeah.
Yeah, 3 successes. And there was no difficulty to this. Because I wanted to ask you, what is your goal out of this negotiation?
Out of this negotiation?
Yeah.
The goal out of this is that regardless of the outcome, my head might be on the line. But the citizens of this city get off scot-free. It's only the troublemakers, myself and the prince.
All right, I will make a note of this. Okay, so my little note here is that you're asking them not to go all tabula rasa on the town. Now I will ask, both of you to make 1 or 2 checks. I just need to 1 check of, well, do you? Sorry, I just need to make sure of something. Okay, so it is something that I guess you can. It's normally used against storyteller characters, but I'm doing it reverse. Basically, there's a little shift in Unther's eyes. They glow a bit. And for anyone dotted with the sight, I guess Flory you would recognize. No, actually, you're not dotted with the sight.
Yeah.
Ravnos do not have auspex.
Yeah, Ravnos
yeah.
does not. Ravnos used
It's
to
only
have
Dixon.
auspex.
Then they're doing something. You sense Unther is almost like peering into your soul. If you want to resist, it's almost reflexive. You would need to make a subterfuge plus composure check.
You're gonna. I'm sorry. What was the roll?
Composure subterfuge, and the difficulty will be it. We'll do a difficulty 4.
Flory doesn't try and resist. What she does instead is turns to him, cocks her head, and says, "You know, usually I ask a man to take me out on a date before he starts looking into me that much."
Well, that's a good question. You say that, but now he knows, and you are going to have to answer, both of you, those 4 questions truthfully.
Okay.
What is your current emotional state?
Pissed.
Flory, yeah. Flory might say something, but she might think.
No, that's what Flory.
No. But Flory, I mean, you're.
That's what Flory says, and her current emotional state is the same at the moment, and she's like that kind of level of pissed, and like there's this level and impression, and like she doesn't use Fata Morgana or chemistry, but it's just this projection that if they were not separated by this parking lot, and that they were in, 50 years ago in a setting that matched the dress she's wearing, she would slap him across the face and possibly throw a drink in it. As like the level of calling him out as being a creeper sex offender, basically.
Are any of you vampires or any other supernatural beings?
Yes.
I look, I have to choose 4, and essentially that's part of the 4. Are you under the influence of any blood sorcery or other magic?
Not to my knowledge.
And have you committed diablerie in the last year?
No.
Those are.
Flory may have.
That is anything he can get out of it, but they immediately check.
Flory has not committed diablerie in the last year.
So there was this voice, just to go back into it with. So Arthur changed his voice, answered rather angrily at Unther's previous question. And that's when he immediately did the thing. You replied, And
And
so
and she's gonna then kind of quasi turn to Artie and then can't say, you're not. You should have a Snickers. You're not yourself when you're hungry.
This isn't hunger. In can't. This isn't hunger. This is truth. And
you
then
will speak.
snaps
Oh, no,
snaps back to the other two. I'm sorry, but Ravnos have habits, and it is best to abide by them, lest ye be cursed, if you understand me.
we have to treat any discussion in an encrypted language as an effort to hide something.
Oh, I can say it out loud if you want.
That might go a long way into proving that you are a helpful ally.
Okay, number one, you're a creeper, and if it was 50 years ago, you'd be a sex offender, and I would definitely slap you across the face. And number two, he's not himself when he's hungry.
And I said I'm not hungry. It's just the truth.
So, also, to answer your unasked question, Colonel, in what military, out of curiosity? Because I'm pretty sure that those ranks go away when you die.
I do not need to explain myself to you or anyone.
Good to know. So, to answer your unasked question, the reason we don't join the Camarilla is you haven't paid me for shit.
Kristen takes a note and asks, is that just all you need, payment? In exchange
God,
for
no.
loyalty?
No. You want to hire me for a job, that's entirely different.
But you just said the reason why you are not part of the Ivory Tower is we have not paid you enough.
Well, considering historically you haven't paid me jack shit. Well, that's not true. Some of you have. But the rest of you look down your nose at me like I'm a $2 trash. This is not $2. But you're talking to Artie. My apologies. And she'll walk back around the hood of the car.
I believe this concludes our preliminary interview, Mr. Porter. We have a long list of people to go through.
Oh, yes, I am most certain of it. But there's one last thing to leave you with. If you want to catch her, you're going to have to put her on the red list. Otherwise, she's going to slip through your fingers.
She notes something, and as she puts everything back in the briefcase, she'll add that they are here first and foremost for the reason why you asked for them. Anything else will have to, they'll have to wait and see, basically.
If she's here, you need to contact Paris. Because the old man is going to get fucked in an uncomfortable way, and I don't mean the back of a beetle.
And with those wise words, speaking of uncomfortable ways, let's pan to the sewers, where someone just got fucked up in uncomfortable ways.
It's true. I would like to browse to heal one of my aggravated. So I can do it once a night.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Make that a roll.
I failed that one, but I do.
It doesn't matter.
to
You
get
still
a little-
heal, but you failed your rouse check.
Yes. So, like small bits of like jawbone start to re-heal, but I still am looking quite bad.
Mhm.
Still looking like large chunks of body are missing. And pick up this vampire, this being, hunk it over my shoulder. I look up. I sort of think about direction, and I start heading towards Artie's home, but still within the sewers, because I kind of feel like this not be good to be have walking out about, or actually also this on the street surfaces.
Oh, you are traveling in the sewers. The domain normally reserved to the Nosferatu.
But this is Little Italy. This is Artie.
Yeah, but the sewer rats tend to claim the sewers. Period.
If I see one, I'll kill it. Rats, I mean.
Well,
this is still Little Italy.
you do see rats. They don't try to hide. Dixon has never been to New York City, but Trooper has been to New York City. These rats.
It smells like hot garbage.
Yes. I mean, the sewers.
I don't
here
know
as
why,
well.
but it does.
Monday mornings in the summer here is pretty much the same thing. That said,
Oh no!
you know about New York rats.
Mm-hmm. They're friendly.
These
Nice.
ones would probably gobble them up in about like a bite. The rats
I
that
say-
you see, the pair of them, I'll just describe them. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Misshapen, grotesque almost. They are bulbous and covered in tumors. So much so that their eyes are pretty much obscured by flaps of skin. They walk on all four, but from time to time, sort of get up on their hind legs, almost like mimicking humans. They stop to look at you before scurrying away, and despite their size being, the
3
size of a
feet?
small dog.
How big?
The size of a Yorkshire Terrier, basically.
Okay.
They fit in a crack in the tunnel that is about yay wide.
Mm.
But you were going to say something.
I say, this isn't your domain. You need permission. That's what I've been told.
You're fairly certain, as they made a way in the crack, that one of them laughed and it echoed. Might have just been chittering. But it sounded mighty snarky coming from a rodent.
Yeah, and I'll say, my job is to keep this place clean. I know it's gone, might still hear me, and that is a threat, I say with half my face torn off.
Yeah. Could you make a roll for me?
Absolutely.
So Dixon has lived with very, very few other vampires before.
Yes.
You've been to Montreal a couple of times. Otherwise,
Couple
it
times.
was Africville.
I wasn't really hanging out with
vampires.
vampires.
Yeah.
I wasn't hanging out with vampires while I was in Montreal.
Can you give me... We'll say it's a difficulty 3. Can you give me either intel or wits and occult?
My specialization would not apply.
Oh boy. Okay. We'll say no unless it's really,
I don't
really
think-
like flush, because I would need to search something. So
Yeah, I mean, I know things that might be parallel, but they're not the same exactly.
well, that's it. But because they're
Uh,
parallel, you stand to potentially gain some information.
Okay.
I'm just very quickly looking through something. But please give me that roll.
I'll give you wits, and I will not add the extra one. And you said difficulty 3 or 4?
3.
3. Says it's a bestial fail. I've got 2 out of 2. Can re-roll the 1. Hope for the best. I will do that.
All right.
By the way, my desire for this session is to I will DM you that desire for this session, by the way. I'll just DM that to you. I won't say it out loud. Let me just re-roll one more. Re-roll 1 die.
All right. Your specialization, by the way, would not apply.
Yep.
I just verified.
No. So I just have 2 bestial fail.
Yeah, 2 successes and a look, in this very instance, the rats won't do anything to you, nor can you aggravate them any further with a bestial fail. However, sorry, the PDF is lagging. What is your clan compulsion?
My clan compulsion is to be a rebel. I am going to be much harder to deal with than normal until I. Basically, I'm going to very hard to deal with. Let me get my character sheet.
I have the perfect thing for you, actually, for the bestial failure.
Sorry. What I'm going to be, I think. So I must take it's Bruja Rebellion. I must take a stand against whomever I see as the status quo, whether that's my leader, a viewpoint expressed by a potential vessel, or just the task I was supposed to do at the moment. Until I've gone against my orders or expectations, perceived or real, I receive a 2 die penalty to all rolls. And then this compulsion ends once I've managed to either make someone change their minds by force if necessary, or done the opposite of what was expected of me.
The rats aren't very much symbols of the status quo. But
there are people who are the status quo here.
As part of your bestial failure, it's act out of compulsion or something else. You know what? I'll lean heavy on it. You did aggravate that chittering rat. And
Good.
It comes out, it darts out of the crack and takes a bite out of your ankle. Like a chunk. You will take 1 aggravated damage.
May I now make my frenzy check?
Yes.
Yeah. Because,
that thing just like bit off your Achilles tendon. Hello, Raiders!
Hello, Raiders!
Coming out
because
just as the rat comes out of the crack.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to murder this thing. I imagine I'm gonna. Let's see. Make a resist frenzy. What is the difficulty for an anger frenzy? Hold on.
I think it's 3 for anger frenzy. Give me a sec.
I think it depends on how badly they've upset me.
Well, do you consider them symbols of the status quo?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Because I believe that they belong to. I believe they belong to Caleb.
They are.
And that Caleb is spying on me.
Yeah, they are agents of the man.
Of course they are. Are you kidding?
It's page 219, but the PDF just froze for me.
Yes.
There we go. I got it.
Difficulty.
It's a willpower.
Physical.
Yeah, I
Yes,
will say it's a difficulty 2.
Yeah, physical provocation or harassment.
Yeah.
Difficulty 2, but I believe I'm at a -2 to resist fury frenzies specifically. I want to just double check, but I'm pretty sure that is the case. So let's just do a resist frenzy. Oh, I'm also at another -2 because my compulsion's up. So that's a -4. Oops. So hold on. It didn't give me a chance to I have no success.
You have no dice anyway. You fail.
Yep.
And the beast immediately takes over. And as you blackout, quote unquote, will fade to black, go to break, and come back to the result of this frenzy. Thank you, Raiders, for coming. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We went a little bit over for the break, so you came in just at the not super well-timed moment. But that said, if you want to take a look at our database of NPCs in the meantime, because we introduced tonight the 2 Archons and their servants that have now landed in Montreal, you can check our Legend Keeper. The link is up there in chat. You can take a look at it. You'll see all the locations, the characters, the NPCs, and everyone that is a major or minor player in this chronicle. And we'll be back in probably less than 5 minutes.
Subtract dice equal to the bane severity.
Yeah.
From any roll to resist frenzy.
Hello, everyone. We are in the midst of checking a thing just as we go back live. Because that's a good question. It's to resist. So once you're in, it doesn't apply anymore. To me, that's what it is, because it's easy to piss off a Brujah. But the Brujah can still, get out of frenzy like anybody else. But that said, what happens to the rat?
Well, I'm going to, I think, in that sort of very grotesque, jaw half hanging off, large, seeing parts of skeleton, right, of the dead corpse that is Dixon. He sort of puts the white down with this sort of rage that he's being spied on. That Artie's domain is being spied on. This is a personal affront, and that it attacked him. And he's going to sort of lunge as fast as he can towards this spy, probably the spy of the sheriff, and either the sheriff or the Archon, either one of those two are spying on him. And just right in this sort of blind rage, try to catch it, and then if he does, just rip it in half. Just with claws in it, just rip it into two pieces.
All right. In the source. The art, by the way, is now on the Roll20. On the Roll20. Wow. On the Legend Keeper. For everyone who has access. They are under others because they are neither.
Okay, I would like to point out everyone, for those of you who have not seen this yet or haven't looked at it, I would like to point out that if you remember a certain game of a certain age and the word cranium rat, that you can just picture that, and that's what those things are. Thanks.
Yes.
Naked mole rat cranium rats. There you go.
I did not need that much Call of Cthulhu in my vampire.
No. I mean,
with a sickening wet crunch sound, the rat just explodes in a shower of blood and yellow bile.
There are words, but they do not make sense to anyone. But Dixon is clearly telling something to whoever is controlling that rat. I don't think anyone could really understand what those words are, though. Doesn't make a lot of sense, whatever it is. But
that rat, that symbol of the autocracy of the Camarilla and the unjust system that they've put in place. You told it. You told it.
Good.
You told it good. So good that you might still be pissed off, though. Can you roll to see if you get out of frenzy?
I will. This will be a willpower roll. I need a... Are there any other enemies around? Are there any more rats?
No,
here?
The other rat that left down the crack, you've never seen it come back.
Okay, I see. Right. Gonna roll. I need a 3. I rolled 0 dice. Okay, that was weird. Let me try again.
And also, a player called Mark just spent willpower.
A player called Mark?
Because it says Mark spent willpower.
That's weird. It says willpower reroll, which I don't think is going to do anything. So dice to roll. It says
Yeah, I think it's
3.
just you have to make your own roll.
Wait, you rolled.
Okay.
You did succeed. It rolled 4 dice, and they're all successes.
No, that was
No,
the
that was my
original
roll.
to
That was
resist,
the
That was my
original.
original roll.
where it never
was
my
did.
original.
It never removed the 4 dice. Now the new one actually removed them all. But it shouldn't be.
2 out of 3.
Uh-huh.
I am not Mark. I am not Mark.
No,
I think
Um,
it's just supposed to be like Mark.
yeah, no,
as
I
in-
know. But that
I don't know who Mark is. I will
I'm
spend
being
my 1
facetious.
willpower
okay.
to re-roll that one last one.
Okay.
And let's see what we got. Nope.
Alright.
I will stay in frenzy.
I sent you a message
I am going.
on
Oh, thank you.
Zoom. Let me know the answer to that, because we'll with
I think I'm going to
Yes.
start grabbing at the crack where the rat had escaped to, and start ripping into that crack to widen it so I can chase that thing that is spying on Artie's domain. Just start ripping chunks
yeah.
of
Um
the infrastructure away.
For my own edification, can you make strength brawl? No, strength athletics. Strength athletics, and if your beast is using potence, tell me if it does or not, but add that to it. Actually, no,
Okay.
you know what? Your beast does use potence because it doesn't give a crap.
Nice.
So add your potence to it.
Yes. Thank you. Let me roll for that though.
It's prowess, by the way. It activates prowess.
Yes. Thank you. That'll be. I get my rouse check. Pardon
Yeah,
me.
1 rouse check.
Failure. All right.
Hungry,
So I
hungry.
get to add. I am more hungry. I get to add.
Your potence rating, so 3 dice to your
Athletics and strength.
Mhm. Yep.
Nice. Cool. Athletics, strength, +3. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 successes.
That is all I need to know for now. So as you try to rip open a concrete wall, basically, tearing chunks off with your bare hands like it was nothing more than styrofoam,
Mhm.
we'll pan back
Mhm.
up to the surface, to the Mountain Slicer Park, where the limo and the sedan leaves. If you were curious, Kirsten is in the limo. The Colonel is in the sedan.
Yeah.
Lori will wait until she sees them leave, and can no longer,
They have rounded a corner elsewhere. They're going back down towards the south, towards downtown. And eventually you do not see even their taillights.
Well, they're shitheads. And she goes around and gets in the car.
Of course, they're shitheads. They're Cam Archons.
Some of them are polite. Sometimes. Or at least less spy creepy shit.
One's a believer, one's a politician.
Look, anyone who calls himself a colonel after he's undead has a problem.
It's because he's a
Also-
believer, and I'm guessing his master gave him that title.
Yeah. Still gonna call bullshit.
Fair, but he's going to be very sensitive about it.
And I'm sensitive about asshole Camarilla muckety mucks pretending that they still have authority when they're undead and involved in a human army. And I didn't call him on that bullshit until he tried to be inappropriate.
Of course he's going to try and be inappropriate. He's a Toreador.
Look, usually they're less, staring at my tits and more at my face level of inappropriate.
What Toreador have you been around?
A bunch of the Parisian ones. No, they stare at my ass all the time. It's a very nice ass. But,
No, the Toreadors stare at whatever they want to stare at. The leering is part of being a rose.
I should throw more of them off balconies then.
Depends on the Toreador, they might like that.
Okay, we are going to back to your place, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I have to go find Dixon because he is not...
Responding to the phone that he will never figure out how to use.
Look, I've already got Alexi on it. I'm going to introduce Alexi to Dixon. That way we can start training both of them in this, not using their real name for everything.
I'm pretty sure Dixon's good at things. We need to get him another flip phone at this point.
That's okay. Look, as long as he carries the one with that's in the Samsung, I can, and she activates the app, find his phone.
That's useful.
It's important to know where people are.
Yeah, and I am not going to stop obsessing those two Archons until they're on a plane out of Montreal.
Look, the fact that they came to talk to someone else before you and then decided that this is all pro forma conversation and that they weren't going to, check to see if the prince was compromised first leads me to think that they don't give a shit. But hey, no, it's the tower. What do they expect?
They don't give a shit unless it threatens them. But Val threatens them. It's just a matter of them figuring it out. Or they're going to cover things up and Valois is going to get black bagged here. So we'll see.
Well, Oh. Where is he? And she'll look down at the phone, like one hand still on the wheel. Oh.
He still hasn't answered.
No, but the reason she really wants him to keep a smartphone is so that she can track the phone.
Once he finds that out, he's dumping the phone and not getting a new one. He does not like being tracked by people.
More because she's at this point, honestly concerned about your safety.
Doesn't matter. Once he finds that out, yeah, he's going to dump the phone.
Yeah. Probably. And she's probably okay with she's okay with it if you do dump the phone, and even if you get mad at her about it. Because she is honestly concerned about your safety with random gangrel Archon running around fucking shit up.
Yeah, the fact that they didn't know about Simmons. That's interesting.
To be fair, she usually wouldn't, but at this point she's looking at the app, deciding whether or not she wants to track you on it, and then doesn't.
He is in Little Italy.
Yeah, she looks at it and just kind of gets the general ping and then turns it off because that's all she needs. It's okay.
Yeah, he's standing in the middle of the street, about a block away. Sorry.
So, she's going to be all right, let's go. and pull the car up right in front of where generally Dixon should be. And then looks around, sees the open manhole cover, the missing manhole cover,
And the bike.
looks at what she and the pike and all of this, and then looks at what she's wearing. I'm going to borrow a jumpsuit.
In the garage, white van.
This is vintage. I'm not getting that.
I know, but for your size, so you're not, having to roll everything up. In the
I appreciate
garage,
it.
white van.
You could have gone. And she gets out of the car and is walking over. She turns back over, shouldering Kant, and says, you could have gone a little away from the cliche. It doesn't need to be a white panel van. We don't need to look like we're actually creepy, kidnappy people.
You'd be surprised when that actually works in a neighborhood.
I'm not surprised about it at all, but still. And she is going to take a second and put on wellies, because she knows that they're in the van, a jumpsuit that fits her, pull her hair back into a ponytail and then a bun, pin it up. Make sure you have lemons.
Smells horrible.
Oh,
A lot
no,
of lemons.
I don't have lemons. I have crime scene grade bleach and other anti-file liquids in the pantry.
And then she goes, and do you have Vicks?
Yes. As he just like he carries the small little tin that you get at the gas station on him. That's part of his everyday carry.
Usually she has her own, but she's changed and she's like, thank you. And then she's going to put the Vicks vapor rub under her nose as
But
she
you
jumps
don't
into
need
the
the
sewer.
smell.
It's going to be
It's
a
all
thing
vintage.
anyway.
Well, yes, but I'm just reminding
turned
you,
off-
y'all don't need the smell.
Yes, she's turned off her breathing. She's not actively smelling. But at the same time, if she needs to use her senses to track him for any
Oh yeah.
reason.
Oof.
I'll see you probably in a half hour. I will get the industrial shower ready.
And she's going into the sewers to look for Lucky Dixon.
Do you climb the ladder down? Do you jump down?
She climbs the ladder to a certain point, and then she's going to jump like the last three because, minimize splash. Actually, she's not going to jump. She's going to fireman the ladder.
There is a lot of blood down here. There's muck. There's trash. There's runoff. You're actually in what should be the regular sewer, not the rain sewers. So there's a lot of ick that makes its way through here. Not a lot of current to bring stuff anywhere. And the entire tunnel system looks very old. But still, on the concrete, you can't miss it. There's a difference between the color and what appears at first glance to be the texture of sewer runoff and blood. You don't need to smell it. It's there. And there is a lot of it. Where you have sliced jugglers before.
Oh, yeah.
Without putting your mouth on it to feed. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, but there's no dead body laying right here.
No, there are no dead bodies.
Cool. Time to find the blood trail.
can you make a roll for me?
I can't imagine
Yeah.
it'd be hard for her to find me considering the amount of structural damage I'm doing
Oh,
to the infrastructure of
yes,
Montreal.
but that wasn't
I mean,
immediately next to the... Because remember, you
Yeah.
walked a certain distance.
Is this?
Yes, the roll. I would go with survival, and let's go with wits and survival.
Okay.
Difficulty 2.
Wits. Two successes.
All right. So there are two ways you could have gone. The blood sprayed a bit all over the place. What you managed to pick up is basically to the going north. Is there's a little bit of blood that keeps going, but as vampires don't profusely bleed, if they survive, it's easy to lose the track. But you've tracked enough vampires in your life to know what to keep.
It's almost like she does this for a living.
Yeah. So you make your way north for about a good 5 minutes, just trekking through the muck, wading through the grayish, brackish water. In the distance... Oh, first of all, light source. Do you have any? Is it just your phone?
Just her phone.
Okay.
She's not... You do not bring... She has lived long enough. You do not bring an open flame into a sewer system.
I mean, I wouldn't think of an open flame to begin with because it scares the shit out of vampires anyway.
Yeah, but but she's also old enough to know.
Yeah.
Never bring an open flame. It's even before she was a vampire, right? Never bring an open flame into a sewer.
The first thing that your phone light will shine on is a body.
Well, that's not Dixon.
No, there's a very shiny stake protruding from its chest. The creature, like I described last week, almost mummified in appearance. The skin clinging to the bones like taut leather. The eyes sunken in completely. In fact, you don't see any orbs, really. It's got elongated fangs, very, very long, sharpened, yellowed claws.
Does this look like an elder who's dug themselves out of the dirt, or does this look like something else?
I'd say give me an intel occult.
I can do that. One success.
So with one success, while you can't be quite certain, statistically speaking, it might be more, especially because this town was a Sabbat town before. It is probably a white more than an elder. Because if there is one thing that the Sabbat loves to do is to eat their grandpas.
This is also true.
So statistically, it is probably might be in the same range as you. That you wouldn't know at all, but...
No, she just kind of looks at it, sees the stake in it. Well, he wanted you not destroyed for a reason. We'll find out what that is.
And on the other side of the tunnel, by the body, is just a pile of rubble. and an oddly Dixon-shaped hole in the wall.
She looks at it, sighs, takes the phone, takes a picture of the wall.
You can hear running water behind it.
She'll take a second to move the white, just kind of like slightly drag him up on the walkway.
It is
out of the run.
completely paralyzed, so.
Yeah, just dragging it out of the running water or running sewer along.
Yeah, okay.
To the pathway that's along the sewer, right? Like all sewers are designed with them so that you can have maintenance people
not have to wade through it. Yeah.
Yeah. And she will sigh and walk across, and then look at the hole. Do I hear him?
No. You hear the rushing of water. You hear squeaks and chitter. You hear a lot of little claws on metal pipes. If you look with the light in the hole goes on for a little bit and then just seems to sink. Like there's a wall at the end, but it feels like Dixon excavated into probably a very old like aqueduct system or something and fell in the water. Given the current, he could be very far by now.
She looks at her phone, presses call before she goes through the crack.
That's interesting. Trooper, can you roll a single D10?
Oh, she's not calling Trooper. She's calling she's calling Artie.
Okay, if you call Artie, signal is very spotty down here. But it does ring.
That's the point is she wants to make this call before she goes down the place where she's almost guaranteed that there won't be any signal.
Go ahead, you're on speaker.
He took a trip through the wall. I'll let you know how this goes. I'll probably be incommunicado for a while. Also, there's
what does Pink Floyd have to do with this?
Literally through the wall. Also, there's a light in your sewer system. It's staked.
Great. So you're going to be in the sewers pursuing him, and he found an aqueduct?
Probably. And given the rest of the creepy shit that's down here under your damn city.
He's in an aqueduct. Shit.
I'm going to figure out which direction it's going and then determine the speed of the water, and I'll be doing some math, and I'll probably call you back in 20 minutes. I hate math.
We're going to have to get help to fish him out.
Good luck with that. Apparently, nobody else likes him.
With enough money, people will like him.
You say that, but that has not been my experience. It just means that they are less likely to stab him in public.
That's all we need.
Fair. I'll call you in 20. And she'll hang up. And, take a second. And just, put the arms of the white across itself. They're pat its chest. Somebody will come get you in a minute. Go through the hole. Shine a light down into this aqueduct. Is he visible?
There is a tiny sparkle in your light. Your flashlight caught the frame of the phone you had given Dixon It is not in the water. It fell on like a little ledge. Basically what you see from the hole. So it's not directly in the center. It's more in, let's say we have an arch like this here. Like this here, and the hole is about here. So you could slide down the wall if you were agile enough and knew about parkour a bit. But unless you are aware of it, there's about a foot before you fall into the water. The water is, well, if you're up at the top, you can't see the other side of that tunnel. So you figure it might be roughly 10, 15 feet wide, maybe. It's made of old bricks.
Bricks, but not tile? Not
tile.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we're thinking basically end of 19th century, maybe early 20th century at best.
1880.
Yeah.
1880, because after that they start using tile. Subway tiles.
I didn't know the exact.
Yeah, no,
year.
It's when subway tile becomes a big thing. She looks at it. Sighs. Puts the phone in the inside pocket. Checks to make sure her hair is put up. And then is going to target to land not in the water, but on that ledge.
How many dice do you have if you add dexterity and athletics?
4.
Yeah, you can, because you're not in any hurry, you're not frenzying or anything, you don't need to roll. You can land on that ledge if you want. Basically just slide off the side.
Yeah.
You are by Dixon's phone. The tunnel is indeed about 15, 20 feet wide. The other side does not have any walkway. In fact, that little 1 foot is the walkway. And in places you see that it's been destroyed. It might have been a little wider before, but it eroded over time.
Yeah.
You can hear the chittering of rats. Sometimes you catch a shadow of one of them. Rarely normal rats. More often than not, they're bulbous. They're hairless. They look more like mole rats. You saw the art. They walk on the pipes, and their weight alone rattles those pipes. The current, now that you're here, is not... You don't think that the current could have taken Dixon all the way to the river?
Okay.
But I mean, there's one direction, unless he swam against the current. You figure if you wait another hour, he might, from where you are in Italy. If Dixon is really unlucky, unfortunately, he ends up in the river by sunrise.
And that's gonna suck. She picks up the phone, puts it in the front pocket, looks at it for a second, is impressed that the case was good enough it didn't shatter. Puts it in her pocket.
It's a little crack, though, like the screen.
Yeah, but it didn't shatter.
Nah, it's still usable.
Mm-hmm. And starts following the path along at what is called more than a power walk, but less than a jog. Enough that it's speed to try and catch up with the flowing water and get Dixon out of it before sunrise comes up. But at the same time, pay attention to possible loose stone or erosion or wet brick and avoid falling in herself.
Are you still using silent step thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Silent step and unseen passage. She kind of like innately does those when she's by herself.
So you make your way down the tunnel, and we'll fade to that as we fade back in. Ooh. Ooh, that is a good question. We'll fade back in, but I need to verify a thing first.
Oh,
Mr.
and she would
Dixon.
probably have. She would
Yes.
probably have Sense Beast. She would probably have Sense Beast up because there was a hole. He went through it, and there was a white. So she's like, "Ooh, concern about him, but there might be something else down here that might be a danger."
Definitely. But also very useful when you're looking for a vampire, because even if he's under the water, like
Yeah, you'll
you'll sense
know that
it.
he's there, even if I'm just doing the passive.
Yeah. Okay. Dixon, can you roll stamina plus resolve?
Yes, I can.
The difficulty, I'll tell you in a moment. Stamina resolve difficulty 4.
Okay. Any penalties or anything like this? I don't have to breathe.
Oh no, I actually have to roll. So just roll, no penalties. But I have to make that roll.
Okay. I don't know what this means.
All right, I got 5 successes.
So I need to beat a 5.
Yes.
Okay. I have a pool of 5.
Actually, they have 1, 2, 3.
Bestial fail.
Okay, cool. Well, guess what? That bestial fail we won't count it as a bestial fail because it's just a resistance check. Which is funny because of that bestial fail, it also works with a thing. You wake up or come out of your frenzy. You are lying down in a cot. There is the faint sound of opera music playing. There's a woman singing in Italian. But it's faint compared to the sound of rushing water from nearby. There are little Christmas lights strung up above your head. A few old, washed-out posters on the walls, and about a foot away from your face, you see the smiling face of a man wearing a beret. Let me describe the man first. His face looks like someone who went through so many reconstructive surgeries and kept all of the scars that never healed, so much so that the visage is like a giant misshapen puzzle with lines everywhere. One of their eyes.
So he looks better than me right now.
Yes,
right?
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
One of their eye is completely milky white, and you notice one of the scar just runs right over it. The other, piercing blue. And he's looking at you with a giant, like almost beatific smile and says, "Wakey, wakey."
Quick assessment, like just a quick assessment of just a couple things. Like it's like a lightning fast, right?
Yeah.
It is one. Is that a Victrola or an actual person singing? Like there's like a couple. Like it's like a really
so
quick
it's a Victrola.
Like, okay.
Wait,
so
just making sure. Just making sure. A Victrola is
It's
a
a
gramophone
record
or a
player.
Victrola? A
Oh, okay.
gramophone or because a Victrola is actually a piece of furniture.
Well, there were more portable Victrolas. But,
It's a In this case, it's like a record player.
Gramophone.
Not really a gramophone. It's like a bit more modern.
A turntable. A turntable.
Yeah, a turntable.
But I imagine since it was distant, I can't see it, right?
Well, no, it's you can't see it. You can hear it, but it's mostly because the volume is down.
But it sounds like it is a recorded signal.
Oh, you can even hear.
Singing.
Yeah, you can even hear the needle skip from time to time.
Yeah. So like the thoughts were really quickly like, is that a live person or is it not a live person?
Okay, yeah.
Quick.
The person looking at you, it looks that cannot be a human. A human would not survive that.
Right, but that's like the third thought, not the first one. The first one is singing, live person or not live person. Second thought is, am I like a physical assessment, right?
Okay.
Am I more damaged than I was before or less damaged? Just like get a sense of like,
Here's what is happening. At the moment, you feel very at ease. You cannot perform blood surges. You do not score messy criticals. And you are out of your frenzy. And also...
Is my body still injured? Is it more or less injured than it was before?
So, one thing you notice is there are loose bandages around some of your wounds. Clearly from someone unable to perform first aid properly, but someone who tried.
Yep.
The thing is because you score a bestial failure, to those of you following at home, normally Quell the Beast would last a certain number of turns. Seems like in this case, it might have lasted a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Enough for this person to drag you to the bed and begin to perform first aid when you woke up.
It's just that if you wake up and you're more damaged, right?
Yeah, you're less... Well...
Or someone's doing, like a lobotomy.
The tip of your
or something,
fingers is very bloody, by the way. It looks like you've been trying to dig through concrete with your bare... Oh, yeah, if you had nails, you don't have them anymore.
I imagine I also don't have the tips of my fingers.
It's raw. It's very...
It's probably just like little phalanges. Third question before... it's like, 1, was that a live person? 2, am I more or less damaged than I was before? 3, am I bound? This is like the order of priorities for Dixon's thought process.
Loose bandages. I'll let you decide, Dixon, if you count that as...
No, but like, if you wake up and you're on an operating table and handcuffed to it, these are things you need to know, right?
No, this is not an operating table. This is a camping cot.
Okay.
You're even lying like on top of a dirty sleeping bag.
Okay, and then 3, this person. I assume I've never met this person before. They do not have a weapon. They're not pointing this weapon at me. Just checking.
Their weapon is their hideousness.
That's not a weapon. Don't be rude.
But no, in fact, I'll unlock them in the Legend Keeper.
Oh.
Enzo is now in the Legend Keeper under for now I've put him under the Independence.
I just look at this person and I say, hello, buddy.
Enzo found you in the water. Fished you out. You're hurt.
I'll be fine. And that's like, and it said like whatever that said, like some weird kind of like flapping sound of, piece of face.
I saw your teeth. Your secret is safe with me.
And he shows his fangs.
Who are you?
Enzo.
Okay.
And you are?
Call me Dixon.
Dixon.
Hello, Dixon. Oh, welcome to my
Oh.
lair.
Thank
It's
you.
not much to look at.
No, it's okay.
My girlfriend is out right now.
Now she's getting food.
Oh, okay. Thank you for fishing me out. I don't. The last I remember, I was
Oh, you were pissed
being attacked.
by the water? Water
No,
don't attack people, silly. That's just in the books.
No, I was being attacked by a spy.
Oh, not a spy.
And you notice when he speaks, like, even his tongue has been, cut and reassembled so many times that it's so swollen that it looks more like a slug in his mouth than anything.
Yeah. Thank you for the hospitality, buddy.
Not buddy, Enzo.
Enzo. Are you? How long have you been here?
He looks at the posters around and points to one. It's a premiere. Actually, the cancelled premiere. Cancelled poster of a premiere. That's got the cancelled on it. Of the Phantom of the Opera, starring one Luciana
Lanciani?
Ricci.
Oh, I see. I just want to know, how, are we talking the 20s? Like, how far back are we going?
1983.
Oh, so not that long ago. Okay.
The Montreal.
So the
Montreal
musical.
Opera. Yeah. No, wait.
Oh.
Yeah, it would be an actual opera. So maybe not the Phantom of the Opera.
Sure.
Let me grab another one.
Ugh. Depends. There's so many options.
Yeah, it's because originally I had the Wagner one, but I was like, it fits
Wagner.
more.
Yeah.
It fits more him. Ooh, no, I got it. Do I go for irony, friends, or do I go
Yes.
for symbolism?
Yes. Both. They're both good. I like them both.
Then I will go for irony, and it's Der Vampir from Heinrich Marschner.
Nice.
It's been cancelled.
80s, yes?
1983.
So
That year.
okay.
I think it's been
Look.
30.
31 years.
More or less.
Look, I don't want to offend you, but I just ask questions. I don't always know protocol.
What's
31
protocol?
years. People get touchy when you ask certain questions, like it's impolite.
Oh yes, that's why we live here.
Okay. Are you Sabat? They were in charge of the city back then.
No, Sabat. I'm Enzo, dummy. I told you.
Okay. Right, but okay, so you're independent.
My girlfriend says I'm codependent.
Who's your girlfriend?
He points to the poster, Luciana Ricci.
Oh. Have I heard of her at all?
Have you been in Montreal in the 80s? Oh, you were. No, you lived in Canada anyway.
Yeah, and I also took classes at the university.
So I'd say, give me
if she were popular anytime before, let's say, the mid 60s,
No.
but afterwards,
It's after the
more
mid
likely.
60s. Yeah, give me wits and performance,
Okay.
or wits and academics, but difficulty 2 for performance, difficulty 3 for academics. Your choice.
I'll go with academics because he was going to university for a while. Wits and academics. Of also avoiding vampires the entire time because who wants to talk to them? It looks like a messy critical.
That's cool. You're
And-
unable to have messy criticals or blood surges
Oh.
right now.
Nice. 9 out of 3 then, in that case.
Luciana Ricci. You knew her. So Luciana Ricci
We hung out.
is was a young rising star, a prodigy opera singer in Montreal. She started as a young teen, had basically the voice of an angel, and was on track to become a major celebrity. However, after the premiere of Der Vampire in November of 1983, she disappeared. There was a massive search campaign throughout Montreal. No one found her. There were a slew of lookalikes, of scams, of fakes, or dubious tips that were given. She was never found, even though her parents offered a $500,000 reward.
So this is the Anastasia of Montreal?
She's the Anastasia of Montreal. Except Dad was a railroad baron, not a or descendant
Russian.
of. Yeah.
Yep.
They mourned her, and eventually the parents asked that her face be removed from everywhere, like the paper stopped talking about us, because it brought too
Was
much
upsetting.
pain. Yeah, it's just, you know how the entertainment business cycle is like, you know, they're going to try to dig up news, and oh, it's the 1-year anniversary of her disappearance. Oh, now it would have been her birthday. Oh, now it would have been Der Vampire's premiere, you know, same day. Blah, blah, blah. So the parents lobbied, quote unquote, to have her. And so after 1985, there's almost no more info about her. And the parents became recluse. They passed away about a decade ago.
Yeah. I was studying in the 70s for the most part, and then sometime in the 80s I left to go traveling.
She was born in 1961. So you wouldn't have heard about her in the 70s. Like, you would have heard about her when you were back in Halifax and Africville, like through the papers and all that mostly.
Yeah, because that was probably a big story.
Well, big story for it's a blip really in your entire existence.
Well, yeah.
But now, and confronted with the poster, the memory, that's her singing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you for bringing me into your home. I appreciate it. Are we safe here?
As safe can be.
Oh. Could be more safe or less safe.
Well, I have a question. Because you asked
Yes.
a lot of questions, now it's my turn.
Sure.
You gonna punch me?
No.
Are
No.
you sure?
Yes.
And then
Are you going to poison me?
No, we can't be poison city. We're dead, remember?
Right, but I don't know. I think there are people like us who can poison people. I don't know. There are all sorts of things out there.
There's a lot of religious freaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
we tend to stay far away from them. They tried to convert Enzo before, but I was like, fuck that church, and they left me alone.
And you feel as he's talking that calm that washed over you. That was not you being called. Someone was imposing that calm, and it's now lifting like a drape off of you.
You're not supposed to tell anyone where we are.
Okay. Yeah, I won't. I think people's privacy is important.
It is. Also because my girlfriend's gonna rip you a new one if you tell anyone. That's what she keeps telling me. That's why I don't go out.
She won't let you out?
I know. Sometimes I do. I go take a bath in the water. And then I avoid the people in white.
The people in white?
Yeah, those like naked people in white. They have claws and go. Like, yeah, there's
how many? How many?
Might have been just the one. Just several times.
Okay.
Might be that there's a platoon. No, I don't know what a platoon is. It's just a funny word. I'd say like 5.
Or 6.
5.
Or maybe 6. 12.
Okay.
Like I said, it could be the same one a lot of times. They all look alike.
Okay. How long have they been here?
Who?
The naked people in white.
I don't know, maybe like a year tops.
1 year tops.
I think. See, it's kind of hard to know what day we are.
Right.
I ran out a calendar.
And you see there's on another wall, there's like just a spread of yellowed calendar pages from different years with just X's in all the days.
If you want, I could bring you a calendar.
That'd be nice.
Okay.
I have very little. I live off of love.
That's love. Huh. That's interesting. I thought that was sort of not really so much. Maybe it's different with different sorts of types. When is your girlfriend coming back?
She went out to eat when I told her that I found a friend. She should be back soon. Hello, raiders.
If there are raiders here, tell them hello. You see raiders right now?
Sometimes, yes. Anyway, enough about walls. Do you do animals? Or are you like vegan?
So they're not particularly filling.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm not particularly picky. I don't have heirs.
It's not like you can be a chooser right now. You like have holes all over your face. You kind of look like me on a bad day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that's my jawbone.
Yep. It's funny because you can poke it. When you were alive, you couldn't do that.
No. Hey,
You want to see something funny?
Sure.
He peels open his cheek and puts a finger in and pokes out his white eye, and it falls and like dangles
Huh.
from the optic nerves. And he's like,
Doesn't even hurt anymore. Hello.
and he,
Hey. Are you, do you need help?
No, and
Are
so
you
doesn't
okay?
need help. I'm
Okay.
very fine.
Okay. If you needed help, you could tell me.
Okay. I will.
Okay.
Then, whenever I need help, I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
I need
where
help.
are we? What do you need?
Well, I can't do bandages. Can you help me?
Yeah. No, I can't do bandages either. There's somebody who got stabbed once and I didn't know how to fix it. I should
Oh.
maybe learn.
Yeah, I haven't seen much bandages. Normally, I just lick wounds clean.
What did you do before, you know?
As a newspaper boy.
Oh.
That's my newsy hat.
How old were you when you turned?
Oh. Oh, that. It's a bit of a complicated. I looked like an adult, but my parents always told me that I was young at heart and mind.
Right.
but I guess
It's okay.
I guess I was
25.
It's okay. Where are we?
In Montreal! No, I know,
No,
I'm joking. You're under the city. You're in a
Right,
place that the religious freak won't see us at all. So you're safe.
Were you here when the religious freaks came and burned everything?
No, they
A
don't
few
like
years ago.
fire. Well, there's some of them like fire.
Uh,
I wasn't invited to any parties. I didn't like the people here. The only person I like is Lucy.
Right. Well, they're mostly dead now.
Yeah, we're all dead here. It's an undead party.
No. There's the Inquisition. It's
Oh, Lucy uses that word sometimes.
they're like mortal religious freaks, and they hunt.
Yeah, not
People
the
like
same.
us.
Not the same. Not the same I was talking
No.
about.
No, different ones. But they came and they killed the ones you were talking about.
Oh, nice.
Except that they will kill anyone like us.
Oh, not nice. Are we,
No.
are we in danger? Because how come you weren't killed by the Inquisition?
Oh, I wasn't here at the time. I'm new.
Oh, well.
Does Lucia go up outside often?
I'm not supposed to say anything.
Okay. Why not?
Because that's how secret works, dummy.
Oh, okay. Well, is it all right if I stay for dinner?
Oh yeah, well that's kind of the point. We're not gonna let you walk out like this. There's what's it called again? The masquerade. When you look like shit, you don't go out. And Lucy, she has the face, you know. Simon's having a bit of a hard time trying to keep up the voice.
Right.
She
I
has the
suppose we
face.
should-
I don't have the faith. I can't do it.
Ah, right.
I
Well,
can
I
only do
suppose
the
we should-
magic trick with the finger in the eye.
Yeah, it's a good trick.
Yep.
Tell you what. How about we wait here until your girlfriend gets back?
Yep. Okay. You wanna lie back down? I don't know. There's not much to do here.
Okay. Also, if you want, I can just sit up and you can sit on the other half of the cot.
I can sit on the ground.
I don't want to. If this is your place, I don't mind.
Oh no, you're on Lucy's bed.
Oh, maybe I should sit on the ground.
No, she told me it was okay. I think.
Okay. Well, oh, no, that was bad. I'll just lay down. Ugh.
Let me just send y'all a message on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
While my players read and reply, thank you people for being here. Thank you for hanging out in chat. I see your theories. I read your messages. And some of you are very close. You know, the problem with having 3 players is when each of them have a different answer, there's no tiebreaker. So what we'll do
Well,
is
since we can't see what Trooper said,
yeah, because Trooper sent it by
Oh, so
direct
sorry.
message.
I
So
didn't mean to.
it's
So-
Trooper's scene. He gets to make the decisions.
I'll say it so that you can all see it. There you go. Did you know it just like auto like the last person you did? It was what?
well, we
To
can
answer
check
Trooper's
with
question,
Yes.
that's very quick. So we cut from the delightful meeting with Enzo. I like to think that we pan out from that scene into the water through past Flory, carefully making sure not to fall in, through the hole, back out, and then into Artie's place. And at this point, as he's mixing chemicals in an industrial washing tub, we need that recorder. We're not getting that recorder. We need it. No, that's just what you want. You're slipping. No shit. This is not 63. We're not doing this again. Right? We can have a meeting of the minds later. I'll find somebody tweaking out on LSD and we can all have a nice discussion. Right now, I have to deal with retrieving Dixon and washing all of the scent of everything down there with what we've got here. That's what's happening with Arthur.
All right. Well, then, on that note, we're going to end tonight. As I said in chat, I'm going to rest my throat a bit because it's 11:30 at night. I have talked a lot today, and I'm afraid that if I continue, I might get into that zone where I damage my voice for the next couple of days. It's already starting. So, as much as I would like to have both of them come in, we'll wait for next week. We've met one hidden NPC tonight. Let's meet the other one some other time. Hey, thank you for coming, everyone.
I'm sure she'll be really friendly and pleasant and not at all worrisome. I'm sure she's just lovely.
I can say something purely out of game, but Luciano Ricci and Enzo are both characters that you can see in Vampire the Masquerade chapters. Luciana is actually the playable Nosferatu.
No way!
Yes.
That's so cool.
And both her and Enzo were mostly written, I'd say half of it by me.
That's cool. That is so cool. Oh, that's so cool. I'm sure she will be very friendly because Simon, you wrote her, so she's gonna be like super nice and like just like. Why'd you say it like that?
I mean, look at their living situation.
Don't judge people based on their living situation. You know, they're just, that sounds like they're salt of the earth. You know what I mean? Like real
Malk in chat almost has half of it right.
You don't judge someone based on their living environment. You might judge them based on their living situation, and I am judging their relationship so hardcore.
Have some concerns about the healthiness of that relationship, but you know,
I will tell you one thing. I will tell you one thing though, as a trigger warning, I guess. Enzo's human disability has nothing to do with their arrangement or the dynamic that they have.
Oh no!
I just am concerned about blood bonding. Like I just have some concerns.
There might be other things at work, but what I meant is, Enzo is of a very simple mind. He doesn't have Down syndrome or anything, but he is. Let's say he had to take the same grade a lot of times in life. Without somewhere on the spectrum, but it's not. There is no abusing of this disability in their relationship. You'll learn more later, but Vampire is a dark game. But that little part of taking advantage of, I don't vibe with that. So,
just you could take advantage in all sorts of other ways. That's all I'm saying.
So, players, thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bestial failing rolls. Thank you for trying to keep track of all the members of the Coterie Flory. I wonder how long it'll take before you start being the official cat wrangler. But that said,
if that happens, I will low jack the fuck out of the two of them.
My understanding is you're gonna kill
straight to low jacking.
My understanding is that you're gonna go and kill Dixon first, though, once it becomes too dangerous.
Oh, no. That's not how that works.
Well, you said you would. You said once it becomes a danger, then he's gone. You're gonna kill him.
No, I said, Flory said once he becomes a danger, he's gone and he's removed. She never said she was going to kill him.
Send him off to your fella to kill him. Sorry.
I would laugh to just have Greg's face when he rips open the box, takes the steak out, and Enzo just goes, "Hello!"
Simon, you gave away spoilers.
That doesn't mean that he's going to be sent to Greg.
No, you gave away
Not
the spoiler.
Enzo,
so
Dixon.
He was saying Dixon.
Oh,
I was saying you gave away the spoiler of who Zelmati is.
Oh.
Mm.
No, I think we've talked about it live on... Well, no one knows here in chat who that Greg fella is. There's a lot of people called Greg in the world, so whatever. You don't
What is
know
that Brady
who we're
Bunch?
talking about. Yeah.
That went so well for him.
So,
The Brady Bunch?
let's do outros and your love for tonight. Same order as we did the intros. I'll keep myself for last, but thank you, by the way, players, for being here tonight. Arthur.
Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch, and look at all your streams. If you want to see more of this silly face, you get a couple opportunities aside from being back here Monday, which you should be, considering everything that has happened. And then Sundays over on Praxcore with Thesmophoria, the second episode of Carousel Court, where you'll see a lot of familiar faces. And there's a time jump, and the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and we'll see just how the disparities play out. Tonight was amazing. Simon, I have to give my hats off to you. Between like two incredibly Toreador, but on the spectrum of roses, they sit on the opposite sides. And that was beautiful. We have Enzo. We have Lucy to look forward to. I have a feeling that Lucy is what we like to refer to as an alpha predator, and may be one of the more dangerous individuals in Montreal. Yay! And then poor Flory. She has had to go to great lengths and depths for these. It's pretty much Flory and these two idiots at this point. Just trying to keep things from going completely pear-shaped. And the Dixon, it would only be Dixon that would get into this kind of situation. It could only be him. Like, trying to keep people safe, fending off a light, being merciful, and then getting bit by a rat and going off into a rage, pursuing more rats, falls into a hidden aqueduct, and gets fished out by a 3-decade-old Nosferatu with a lisp. Only Dixon.
And his girlfriend.
And we have yet to meet the girlfriend. I have concerns, so you best tune in next week to see just how wrong or right I am. Take care of yourselves and one another. Thank you so much for being here. Our story is nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. And tell your loved ones how you feel about it. See you soon.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here, Flory.
Hey everybody, I'm at Dirjadonlan on Twitter or Prexcorthesmia4 as you see me around here on Twitch. I get to play your wonderful Flory Winters, your Ravnos, who is not at fault for anything in this town. Krellin. I appreciated every minute of this. I loved it. I appreciated how restrained Flory attempted to be in the face of the Toreador Archons, but like there was only so much. And admittedly, she didn't say anything or cause a problem until somebody else decided to be a creeper. So there's that. I appreciate watching Artie slowly lose it more and more. The mask coming off so you can see a little bit more of the dragon underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say dragon, I don't just mean dragon as one would think for a Simich. I also am getting very strong hints of a different type of dragon. One who would usually carry a sword and had a small problem ruling a continent for 300 years. If you can get it, post a comment on the YouTube video that you got it. I love Trooper. I just love watching Dixon do all of the things and be like, I'm going to play this character, and this is what the character would do, and I'm here for every moment of it and play through every moment of it. And I love watching Trooper play through every moment of it. And it's one of the reasons I love playing with Trooper. I also love watching Simon play off of Trooper in this way, in the best possible way. Is like, the rat gonna bite you. Okay, now that we frenzied, anger frenzied because the rat bit you. And I'm like, I've lived in New York. I've seen this happen. Somebody done punt that rat. But
the last time there was a rat looking at him, there was an Archon that attacked him. I'm just saying.
No, there's entirely valid, and it makes total sense.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
And I am like, it works so well, and I love watching it happen. And I love watching this moment between Enzo and Dixon, where it was a lot less Dixon and maybe a little bit more Lucky having that conversation with Enzo, whether it intended to be or not.
I mean, the thing is, once you get low humanity, you still care about vampires. You just don't care about humans anymore.
This is true.
You just turn away from humanity and you turn a bit more towards vampires. So, it's
but yeah, so it worked. And I will say, I am playing very, very carefully, and I am not saying any of my assumptions about this meeting, because I have played the introduction to Luciana. So I know Lucy and Enzo. And I'm not saying a word. Not one single word. All Flory is doing is walking down a sewer to find Dixon and make sure he doesn't end up in the river during day when the sun comes up. That's it.
The river's deep at parts. Depends on where in the river you're at.
Nah, the body will float up and you'll be screwed. You can't control it enough to stay submerged is the problem. You're unconscious. But
he wasn't unconscious. He was in frenzy.
No. I mean, when you hit daylight hours and you end up in this river in daylight, you would be unconscious at that point. But hey, everybody, and Simon is just wonderful, and I'm here for all of the voices of Enzo. I am. You can find me on Twitch at Praxagora Thesmiophoria. As already said, we are back with episode 2 of Carousel Court, starting on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. It will be 1948. Things are changing in the background, some of them, and things might be happening. We'll see what happens when these wonderful people come and join us next. And I'm saying it now, but you can also see me tomorrow, because I'm going to be doing a cooking stream just before dinner, because then I want to have the perfect meal prepared for someone else's premiere on Tuesday night. And other than that, you can follow me on Twitter or on Hive at Prox the Bard, because I get to play with fabulous people, and I love every minute of doing so.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here tonight. And Dixon.
Hey everyone, I'm Trooper SJP, and I was playing Dixon, who, I think the story goes it's his fault. Whatever it is, it's his fault. And
no, it is no longer. It is no longer just his fault. It is now also Artie's fault.
Okay. Well, I mean, I suppose Artie can take a little bit of the blame, but I'll take 95% of it. And let me see. You can find me on my channel, Trooper SJP. And let me see. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m., let's hope there are no storms. We will have the premiere of Motor City Hollow Crown, which is a Vampire the Masquerade 8-shot set in Detroit in 1973, 6 years after a whole bunch of fires. Lots and lots of fires during the Detroit uprising. Lots of buildings burned. There's a change in the power structure, the vampiric power structure of Detroit. So if you show up tomorrow, you can find out about it. And then you can find me after that on Friday, 7 p.m. over on my channel. Both of these are my channel, 7 p.m. Eastern, Trooper SJP. For the Gamblers, our Traveler Pirates of Drynex campaign. And then when it comes to RPGs, you're going to have to find me on Sunday at 8 p.m. over at Practice Go This Before His channel for Carousel Court, where we're going to head out to 1948, which will be like a time to hang out. We'll find out who won the PTA election, the HOA election, and also the country club election, which, you have to look. If the HOA people don't like you, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad to change everything about your mailbox, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants that at all. But also, Lindy's gonna be there on Sunday, and we get to see her house, and I'm very excited for that as well. And I want to say that I want to give my love. I want to give my love to Artie. Pope, I am concerned about Artie, but I'm not as concerned about Artie as Artie is concerned about Artie. I believe in Artie. I think Artie will be okay because I trust in Artie. Even if you feel like it's going to be bad, I feel like it'll be okay. And your, what's the word? Distressing faces are the best distressing faces I have ever seen, and I love them. And these are one of the reasons why I love you, because you are present and also concerned, and it gives me joy. I want to share that love. Cracks. I just feel like there's like a number of characters on TV, probably from the 70s, who I feel like are inside the soul of Flory. It's like when like the soundtrack goes wah wah, and like you kids, like there's just like I'm seeing I'm just saying I'm seeing a number of people, and I just think it's glorious. You know what I mean? It's just glorious. I hope that when all of this settles, we have Prince Flory taking over all of the things. And Simon, of course, you are tricky in the best way. You are responsive and thoughtful, and you're like, okay, so like, what do you want to do here? And I'm like, I want to play it through. And you're like, okay, then. And I appreciate the care that you give to the players when it comes to all things, and the care you give to the game that you've created, the world you've created, in all things. And I appreciate when I say, yeah, I want to play it through, find out what happens. You surprise me, because that's always what I want. I always want the big surprise. And so thank you for that. And I also want to thank, of course, chat for being here, for making wild guesses, which I'm very excited about. And that's it for me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here, chat. Thank you to all of you. Thank you for the follows, the raids, the subs, the everything. Thank you for just hanging out and having fun with us as we play this Chronicle of Montreal by night. Thank you, Malk. Thank you for the bits. I am, as always, Simon at Wandering DM. You can find me normally here on every Monday. Saturdays are a bit more iffy this summer because our cast of Scions, we all tend to have things here and there, which makes scheduling for the summer very erratic. I try to post whenever we have a session. So if you don't hear from me, that's because it's not happening, basically. It's easier that way. And we'll resume proper scheduling when the summer is over. That said, speaking of summer, there are still seats available for the Summer of Red campaign. I say as I frantically look to my Twitter feed to get the link to my thing because I didn't do it. I didn't post it. I did post it. I need to copy the link. Right now, I am stalling for time, but there we go. The link is in chat if you're interested. This week is, I believe, the last week. Wait, we're the 19? Yes, this week is the last week to get in on it if you want, because the session 0 starts on June 19th, which is next Thursday. So if you would like to play Cyberpunk...
Wait, today is June 19th, so next Thursday is...
Next Thursday... No, not the one this week, but the one the week after. Because this week's Thursday is the 23rd? The 22nd.
The 30th.
So no, the 19th. The
29th.
19th. Yeah.
No,
I said 19th,
today.
29th. It's late,
It's okay,
y'all.
Simon.
It's late. I'm so sorry. It's late.
Simon is such a good GM. This is like
29th is session 0. So on another note, yes, I talked a bit about chapters today. The I believe shipping is... Everything is on the way. If you haven't received the game yet, it is, I think the last tracking numbers were going out this weekend. This is, of course, out of our hands, because if I could have control over FedEx, it would be a very different game altogether. But there's that, so that means that you will also be able to, if you've pre-ordered it, or you want to pre-order it, there will be other print runs made of the game. And as a last tangent, the lab that I talked about last week, the campaign we had over on GameFound. So the lab was founded. Thank you very much to everyone who chipped in and who backed it. The game will be available in retail anyway, compared to chapters where it's pre-order only at your FLGS. You'll be able to find the lab practically everywhere, and that is it for me. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.